Okay, everybody, welcome to the 30-year bond auction trade room, 10-minute trades. I think we can get started in 30 seconds. What do you think? I assume you can all hear me just fine. What the heck is going on in Italy? Wow. All right. Welcome to the 30-year bond auction. This could be volatile. My name is Lee Goldstein. I'm the trading director at 10-minute trades. Please remember, all trades are for educational purposes. It is possible to lose money trading futures. You've got the impeachment going on right now. You've got, there's been some Fed people talking. So we're going to have to keep an eye on the markets, make sure we think it's safe. All right. So what we got going here this afternoon is the 30-year bond auction. We trade it every month. And let's take a look. I'm listening to the news in the background also. We're also streaming this report. All right, so let's look at the daily market report. Let's take a look at the report. So 30-year bond auction, it's a bracket of 3. It's an activate at 130, 1301.30. I'm doing a 60-second cancel. Target of 2, target of 6, stop of 3. It's been a very solid report. It's been working very well. One of these, I want to see the market calm down and be calm. I'd like it to be calm before the auction. So I'd like them to take a 20, 30-minute break on the impeachment. Then they can get back into it if they want to. But for us, I'd rather they just don't say anything for 30 minutes. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're moving forward. It's lunchtime is over. Lunchtime is over. All right. So let me change accounts. I want to trade this in the right account today. Or I could just trade in the wrong account all day. It doesn't really matter. Let's trade it in the right account. So it's an official trade, so it goes in the 10-minute trades account, not our test account. So let's look at last month. So 1210 was our most recent 30-year auction. Should have the audio and the video, I hope. There we go. December 10th. Trading it live. Uh, 13:01:30 is our entry time. Whoops. All right, so let's see. What time did it fill? 25 seconds, no fill. 30 seconds, no fill. 35 seconds. So that's 40 seconds, 45 seconds. That's officially a no trade. Filled late. I would have traded it. In fact, I am trading it. You can see it. And the big decision today is move the targets and move the stop or take the risk. Yesterday, moving the stop cost me a winning trade, a nice winning trade. So, I'll play it by ear and see how it behaves. If it bursts and it looks real good on one direction, then I will not move the stop. I'm trading ZB, KW. I always trade ZB on this. It just moves better. I like to watch ZN, but I don't think ZN is worth trading on these. Sometimes it just doesn't give you as good of a move. Sometimes it's okay, but I just find that ZB, we've been doing ZB for all these years. It just seems like the way to go. So that was 12, December's bond report. Do I have November's? That's the question. Do I have November's? Let's take a look for November. It would have been November 12th. November 12th. For some reason, I don't have November's. Not sure why. Every now and then a video gets lost or misplaced, and I just don't see it no matter where I look. So I don't have it. I've got October was a nice winner. $13.01.30, October 8th. And it moved down. Not a great move. Only was able to get a couple of ticks. Not a very good move in October. Not the initial move, anyway. Sometimes, you'll get a small, very tiny move, and then it'll keep going. And then obviously, of course, you can get a move that just reverses, goes one or two ticks and doesn't go anywhere after that. There's no guarantees, of course, but it's been behaving very nicely as a trade. So before, let's see, then September, let's see what we did in September, just out of curiosity. Did we cancel in September? What happened to me in September? Okay, there's our orders on the chart. We were up 140 before the trade, up a buck 40. In September, theoretically, it was a 40-second cancel. I think 40-second cancels are too small. And I think I followed the cancel. 40 seconds. Yeah, I canceled. 44 seconds. So let's watch it for a minute or two. Kind of dull looking, not very exciting. Just chopping around a little bit, one tick at a time. Now, I was trading ZN in September for some crazy reason. I went through a couple of months where I traded ZN and wasn't overjoyed because look, ZB had a good trade and ZN had no trade. So ZB was better in September, sorry. ZB would have been a small winner. Let's take a look at August. What do you say? Look at August. Now, August, one of these big winners was a big loser. It moved, I got stopped out on a move that you couldn't see with the naked eye. It was either August or July. And it'll happen. It happens occasionally. You get a move that's so fast, you don't see all the gyrations with the naked eye, and you have to really look at the one range chart to see every tick move because that can show you sometimes. See, that looked like a perfect trade, but it actually moved up and down without seeing it, and it was a loser. And then the month before, it did almost the exact same thing and was a great winner. And sometimes that happens. It's just life in the trading game. I'm pretty sure July did the same thing, but it worked. So let's take a look at July. Here's some old ones. I got some old ones going back to April in this video. So July 9th, 1301.30. I've changed my charts a bit since then. Changed the color. I like simple charts. The simpler, the better. Nothing drives me crazier than when I go to an educator's website and I look at their charts and it's like you need to go to another planet and get the aliens from that planet. See how that worked beautifully? You got to get the aliens from that other planet to help you read the charts. So let's watch this again. This is a perfect bond trade. Now, I've told you all in the old days, long ago, many years ago, before I got here, these bond auctions were ATM machines. ATM machines. The owner of the company doubled his account trading the bond auctions. Now, let's be honest, it was a $3,000 account or a $2,800 account. Even still, small accounts are hard to double, but he was able to double his account, and the bond auctions were very helpful in being able to do that successfully. They used to move, see that move there? They used to move, that was considered a small move on the old bond trades. So they tell me. I have no video to prove this. It's legend. It might be like what's that big dinosaur in Ireland, Brian? What's that? The pond. What's that animal in the pond that everyone's always looking for? Big Sur? No, it's not Big Sur. What's the animal in the pond everybody's looking for? Loch Ness monster. Thank you. The Loch Ness monster. These um, legends of these legendary bond traders. Yeah, I remember that too, Brian, when it used to be that the 10 tick bond was a harbinger for the 30-year auction. Now we don't follow that anymore. We don't necessarily agree that that's the case. So let's create a trade, save a template. So the way that I'm looking is a bracket of 3, targets of 2 and 6 with a stop of 3. Okay. That's the simple way that I'm trading. So I'm going to set up my strategy, go right to bracket of 3. And I'm going to trade 2 contracts on my first target, 1 contract on my second. So I'm going to go for 2 ticks on my first target, 6 ticks on my second, a stop of 3. All right. A stop of 3. The entry time, we all know we have a special entry time for this trade, 13:01:30, 1:01:30 Eastern time. Why? Because over the years, that's the time we notice that there's a reaction to the auctions. It's not rocket science. And it's not because I said so. It's because we've tested. We're not trying to be overbearing by any means. And I'm going to label the trade ZB 30-year. All right. Choose your account. It's a breakout trade. 13:01:30, 1:01:30 is my entry time. Be sure to select strategy internal mode. Under trade type, under breakout trade, the mode must be strategy internal. Okay. It almost always is. We never change that. All right. One more time, a bracket of 3, making my break even profit ticks a 0. I'm trading 2 contracts for 2 ticks, 1 contract for 6 ticks, a stop of 3. My entry time is 13:01:30, 1:01:30. I use a 60-second cancel, not 40. Generally, I mean, I give myself the option to do what I want. Cancellation wise, cancellation is very personal. That's, I mean, we have rules for cancellation because it does help to keep you safe. Cancellation rules are important. I want to record this. You know, the reason we have cancellations is because sometimes if a trade doesn't trigger, all of the reasons why it might work dissipate. and you don't want to trade it. And that's really the simple reason why we have cancellation rules. There are trades that I have found should not have cancellation rules or should have much more liberal cancellation rules. And those reports for me are the WASD, the WASD, the bond reports, the quarterly grain report. Um, those are the ones I can think of off the top of my head. My boss and I have argued, and I would say spoken strongly. I wouldn't say argued, but we have had serious discussions about should you cancel if you know the news has not been released? Should you cancel if you know the news has not been released? When should you start the time counting? And we've argued a lot about that. Not argued, had heated discussions. Because there's a large part of me that thinks you should not start the time count until you know the news has been released. But then sometimes you'll get a news release that's so late. Checking my time sync by going to the website time.is. Sometimes you'll get a news release that's so late that it puts you in a little bit more risk than if you follow the strict cancellation rules. So there, everybody, you put 10 people in the trading room, excuse me, put 10 people in our trading room, trade the same reports with the exact same settings, and I bet you $1,000,000 you'll get 10 different results at the end of the day. Nobody will have the same results. And that happens too, Brian. When we think the news is late, but the page hasn't refreshed, the news is actually out. And that's why we use Financial Juice Pro. And I've been thinking about another company, FX Street. They're the only other website that I have found that shows results of a trade in real time, like investing.com does. The problem is their page is a mess. Look at this mess of a page. I don't know what's going on. I don't know where I am. That's my problem. It's a mess. It's just a mess. Can I say the word mess again? Yes, I can. It's a mess. So I'm going to keep it open. I'm going to keep that mess open to the side. Chantal, I think I did check that website. I don't remember. I guess I have to check it again because I don't remember what I thought about it. It sounded like a bad relationship movie. Seeking Alpha. Sound like a bad Netflix movie. I totally agree there is something wrong with me. I'll be the first one to admit it. But there has to be something wrong with you to have my job. A normal person cannot do this job. This is not normal. It's like taking your clothes off in front of people. You think about it. Trading live with real money, it's like taking your clothes off in front of people because you're totally naked in front of everybody. They could see every mistake you make. It's very hard. It used to be hard. I don't care much anymore. I mean, that's really what I mean. Don't get me wrong. I care more than anything in the world, but I don't couldn't care less what happens. And that's a total lie anyway. I don't know why I said it. Total loaded untruth. I totally care. Yeah, I totally care. But a big part of you, the way you survive as a trader and moderator is by not caring as much as you all care. Like my guess is you all care way more than I care. And when I don't care what happens to me because I know I got to come back in like 20 minutes and do it again. And then sometimes I got to come back in an hour and do it again and do it again. It's like a mess that never ends. It's a mess that never ends. My life is a mess that never ends. That's that's how I would describe it. The mess that never stops. All right. I will behave. Let's check our time one more time. Check our sink. Check the bathroom sink, and it's in sync. Check the washing machine, the dryer, make sure that they're working. So I'm curious. I don't think the bond trade is the best trade to get results from FX Street. I'd rather see the results on a data report. You know what I mean when I say data, like CPI or jobs report, something like that. So, I mean, part of my job too also is I don't want you to be bored to tears in here. I want to try and entertain you a little bit. I think I've been pretty boring lately. I used to be much more exciting and more interesting. I think I've gotten really boring. Sort of like those loops that um, Musk is building. So 1301.30, our orders will show up on the chart. I'm tempted to just sit and watch it, let it just trade. Too many times I interfere with the trade and wreck it. So I'm risking $90 a contract. So 90 times 3 is $270, right? $31 a tick, 287.50 is what we're risking, roughly. That's if everything goes correctly and we get stopped out. Now we're up 90 bucks on oil, which I traded in the wrong account by accident. That happens. It's not the end of the world. But we really haven't been trading oil as a breakout, but I did trade it as a breakout today. So that should have been traded as an official trade. We have a test account and we have a official trade account because we want to be able to show that account when people say, "How you doing?" Even though in so many ways, "How you doing?" is so subjective. I mean, how I'm doing is totally different the way Jaquan is doing. He trades totally differently than I do. He takes trades I don't take, but he uses a lot of our advice to trade. So does that mean we are worthless? Do you know what I mean? People say, "Oh, you're worthless because your account is only up $500." But there's other people out there whose accounts are up thousands and thousands of dollars. They trade differently. And there's people that are down because they've screwed up and lost money. And that's my point about also put 10 traders in a room and you get a room full of crazy people with different results, different trades, different everything, different everything. I mean, that's just what happens. It happens all the time. Life is different for everybody. So 13030 will get our orders. It'll be 3 tick bracket. It'll be a 3 tick bracket. And I don't know what's going to happen. Bonds right now are acting a little bit bullish, a little bit. So the Fed has been talking today too. Seems like they've been talking all day. It really seems like they've been talking all day. I certainly wish that we could just get the vaccine out and get everybody that wants to take it vaccinated and go back to normal, reasonably normal living. So until the vaccines are out and everybody that wants it is vaccinated, we're not going to have normal life. I want normal life. Don't you all? I do not like this. Not a very good move. Not a very good move. So I'm combining my orders and it looks like, so there's nothing you can do when it doesn't work. That was just a trade that did not work. Okay. A trade that did not work. Not a thing you can do about it. Not a thing you could do about it. And look, now it's going the opposite direction. Almost as if we got filled early. I believe we got filled early. That's what I think. Just based on the way that it's working, we got filled early. That's a shame. That's a shame. No, I don't chase this report because it's impossible to know now if, it might have been Fed talking. You don't know for sure, but it just did not work. And it's the first time in about 6 months that it hasn't worked. So we just have to live with it. You have to live with it when a trade doesn't work. You can't go crying in a corner. You just can't. It is a small stop. It's been a small stop forever, Chantal. And look at the stop. I mean, the stop, it hit the stop. If we had a 4 tick stop, it would have worked, right? 4 tick stop, and we're at least not in a losing trade. 4 tick stop, we'd still be in the trade. So that's how it goes sometimes, though. There's not a lot you can do when that happens. You just live with it and trade another day. So I'm just going to record the price action for a few minutes. It's a shame because I was totally prepared. I didn't move anything. It just got me. It just got me. There's nothing I could have done differently. No, it was a 3 tick stop. I got filled uh, at 8 and stopped out at 11. One of my contracts got filled at 12, which is goofy. But it grabbed my stop no matter what. It grabbed my darn stop. You could just see it. It just grabbed the stop. Now I generally don't chase because you don't know for sure this trade's going to keep going up. You just don't know. You don't know. My feeling is I want to trade this bigger and bigger, Chantal, because this is the first trade that's been bad in 6 months. So it's going to happen. There's going to be bad trades. So we'll be back here at 1:30 for the beige book, which I'm sort of sorry I had a trade room for that trade, but we will be back at 1:30. Okay, so 20 minutes, 25 minutes. And I'll see everybody. We'll be back. Okay, see you in a bit.